welcome to my channel, Holistic Sister. I am Jem, here to give you a tarot pick a card reading today. I always listen back to that and I say it so fast that if you're not an Australian, you probably don't get it. Pick a card reading. It's been a long time. I pulled the tarot card in my life and a lot of my structure fell down around me and now I'm having to rebuild it. So that's where I'm at. That's why we haven't done a reading for a little while, because I've had some personal things that I've needed to process so that I'm able to tune in better. And that and perfectionism, procrastination, perfectionism, paralyzation, I think they call it, is something I've becoming aware of lately. So we're not perfect, but we're here anyway and we're showing up as we are, which is perfect. So I give you a minute to look at the stones I've set out for you today, so you can choose a card, 1, 2 or 3. We have the pink rose quartz heart-shaped crystal as number 1. We have a jagged looking amethyst crystal as number 2 today. And we have a labradorite crystal, which is being cut in half. It's a circular shape, so a semicircle, I think they call that. I'm so professional. Welcome to my channel. Go ahead, pick your card and we will start the readings. So we're going to get a bit of background noise today with our readings. I thought I'd do it outside, which has some nice beautiful bird sounds, but we also have some industrial work going on down the road a little, so I'm often hearing the reversing of trucks as well. I hope that does not distract me or you today, you or me. The first card for this beautiful heart-shaped quartz, rose quartz, we have death and rebirth. Now this seems to be, oh, I've got the shakes. This seems to be quite relevant for a lot of people at the moment, because we're really coming into some new cycles. So the first card is indicating that to me, that you're at the end of something, and with every death there is a rebirth. It's never the end, it's just a new beginning. And this can be in so many different aspects for you. So I was going to say we'll read into it some more, and I have one that came out straight away. So we'll go straight with that one. Again, I do intuitive readings, so I don't go off necessarily off the tarot meanings, but they can influence the reading a little bit. So your second card here, it's definitely about partnership and the beauty you can create with a partner. So we've got a new beginning happening for the start, and I feel like it may be a partnership that's already happening right now that you're involved in, or it may be a new partnership, but I do see some really beautiful blessings coming through with that. And it's a matter of you bringing your authentic self into that partnership, and then seeing that your energy together can make so much beauty as well. And it's that happiness and that emotion and that peace and all the rainbow colors going in there. It's really positive. I feel like the way that the hands are held, it's like a loving hold, but it's without restriction. So there's that sense of freedom there in the way that the hands hold each other. So with that partnership, being able to be yourself and have your freedom, and for that other person to have that as well. If it could be a romantic relationship for you, but it could actually be another type of relationship for you, something that maybe could have become codependent, and it's a reminder for you that together you can create so much wonder, but you still have to remain as yourself and not become codependent into that relationship, because it's the balance of the two of you and not changing to be like each other, but coming together that that creates that magic and that flow. So let's see what else we're talking about today. Two more cards I'll pick out here together. Okay, so I feel like there's a lot of moves to be made. Now this man's sitting here quite confidently with his chess piece, but almost like, where do I put this? It is a card of confidence, but it's also about preparation and knowing how to play the game that you're entering into. Again, this is going to be different for everyone. It could be following the line of a relationship, but this might actually be in terms of something else socially as well, or even in terms of work plans or future plans. But having that confidence in the moves that you're making, but also sitting back and having a think about it. And you do have spirit on your side there. I see that beautiful wisp coming in there to help you make the right decisions. So listening to that intuition moving forward. And the card that also comes with that is the Hanged Man, which to me is a card about letting go, but without falling, to realize that you can let go. And sometimes we don't always, a lot of the time, we don't always have full control on a human level anyway over the circumstances that we're in. And we can fight against them. We definitely want to try and be where, you know, put ourselves in the circumstances we want to be in, but sometimes when we have no choice, we just have to let go of that and just take the ride. That I feel that in my own life as well, that I've had to just be where I'm at. It was overwhelming for me, but I've had to accept it rather than pushing against it and getting angry about where I'm at, that it's not where I wanted to be, if that makes sense. So also letting go and knowing that you won't fall. You're hanging there, but you're safe. You are safe to let go and to just, you know, still have your goals and still have your planning going, but at the same time, let life bring what it's meant to bring to you when it's meant to bring it to you. Okay, I'm moving on to some other cards now. Some indication on... There's definitely a partnership of some sort happening here, which I do see as a positive one. Okay, so we've got the Death card again, so to come up in the second deck as well. We've got two cards though. So the first card to me, looking at it, is about clearing up some of the past and the old emotions that are still there, even though it almost feels like you've emptied them out of your life when I see that. So it's stuff from the past that you've gotten rid of in your life. You put it in the trash, but you're having to go back to reprocess some of those feelings from the past. So I assume for some of you that's going to be to do with this codependent relationship. That just came out. You might not be in a codependent relationship, but one that you're being warned to not be codependent with, to be able to see that you need to be your own person still and have your own things, and have your own passions and bring that together with someone rather than changing and giving away your own role in the relationship to and your own role in your own life, because there's more than just one person relationship. There's the relationship with yourself too that you need to be aware of. It has to be the healthiest of them all for us to be in healthy relationships with other people. So when I look at this card, there is some sadness with it. So I feel like you are going through something from the past that has come back to you that you've had to reprocess emotionally. And again, with the Death card going in, it's about new beginnings and clearing that out. So I definitely feel that the reading so far is talking about some type of relationship you're having with someone, realizing that you can create beauty in it, and let go and let things flow the way they are, but you're also having to reprocess some of those emotions from the past that maybe that relationship has brought up for you, and it's bringing up again somewhere in your psyche that you're having to revisit and clear out some of those old limiting beliefs and maybe what people told you, parents, friends, partners, exes, that sort of thing about yourself that has stained you in a way, stained who you think you are, and you're needing to revisit that to see, was that true? Which part of this is true? And what can I accept and I can acknowledge as me, and what really is the other person and them projecting. So let's see. So far it is some type of relationship that I'm talking about through, I feel, through this reading, but it's not necessarily a romantic one. Oh, and you've got the Tower card coming up again. So coming in with death and rebirth, there really is brand new beginnings happening here. It's not always going to be comfortable. It might feel chaotic. It might feel this is not what I wanted. I wanted everything to stay up and strong and just keep focusing on my life the way it was. But it's had to change. So I'm going to pull another card on that. So there's definitely some big changes around this relationship too. It doesn't mean you're going to be, like, if this is a romantic relationship and it's coming to an end, for some of you that might resonate, but that doesn't mean you can't bring beauty and love into the world together by not being codependent with each other. You can still bring yourselves together. I can explain that in another way. So if you've separated from someone, the card to me is saying that that's for the best, that little bit of separation. Doesn't mean the relationship's over altogether, but maybe it became a bit too suffocating. So there is a lot of new beginnings here. And we've got this one. A lot of organising. So definitely after the death and the Tower card, we're going to have to rebuild. And we're just starting. I'll show you the card. She's person, he, she, sitting at a computer with their phone. Will they answer? Will they not answer? I feel that this card is about deciding what your boundaries are and what you're willing to put up with and who you're willing to let into your life. And it's like looking at that phone, should I answer, should I not, and writing down almost like a pros and cons about whether I should answer, whether I should have that person in my life or I shouldn't, and actually processing and going into that a bit deeper, because sometimes the very best thing for us is not to have someone in our lives in the way that they've been in there. We need to set a boundary, and that doesn't necessarily mean you're cutting them off altogether. You may have been going through a hard patch together, but the relationship has to change in a way, and I think that's coming down to you doing boundary setting and figuring out what exactly it is you want in your life and what energy you're willing to let in, and at how much. It's not a yes or no, them or not them. It's figuring out and balancing how to have them in your lives without suffocating each other, or without it becoming unhealthy, with still being able to be authentically you, an individual, and do your own thing as well. So we're getting some repeat cards in the second deck here. So again, we've got the Hanged one, similar to the Hanged Man in the way it looks as well. Just that deep let go, but again, it's like there's safety in that. That it's strong here. It's not breaking. It's not falling apart. There's no snapping on the ropes, and it's also like a freedom. The way that this person's leaning into it, like someone doing silks. It's not. I'm letting go of the control of what I did want, but I'm okay. It's not a giving up, it's a letting go, which is very different. I'm not giving up on what I wanted, but I'm letting go of the control that perhaps is not there any longer in the way that I'm going to keep this on a relationships. It feels like it's a relationship reading. And again, that doesn't mean a romantic relationship, friend, family, even business acquaintance that you're needing to put those boundary settings in with, that has been around a while, because there is that past emotion that you're having to reprocess from them. But it's just that reminder again to set your boundaries, decide what you want, how you want them in your lives, and also let go of the fact that you can't control it all. It's a bit. I can think of some examples in my own life where I feel like, okay, so if let's say it's someone at work that it's become too much. There's been some toxicity. There's been some boundary crossing there that you need to put new boundaries in place and be respected for those. So you're still going to your job. You can't avoid them altogether. You're not going to quit your job to avoid this person. So it's almost like letting go that, yes, I can't control that they're in my life. I don't have the full control over that. But I do have some control of what I'll allow them to say to me. Like if they're disrespecting me, then I can talk and be authentic without getting angry, but I can say this is where my boundary is, or I can say, look, I'm not going to do that role because that's not my role. Whatever it is for you, it's going to be different again for everybody. I definitely feel a reading coming through for me in that one. Let's see what else comes through. Choosing your path as well, realizing that you're in control of the future, of the direction that you're going in. Excuse me. Spending time alone as well so that you can design the life that you want to create for yourself. So this one here is the Chariot, but the way that I look at this card with someone with their hands on the handlebars like that and coming up to the two different paths, so one that looks maybe unknown and the other one you can see the castle clearly on that side. So I feel like there is two paths, and maybe one you do know about. Like I know this path, it's a safe path, I've been there before. There's another path there now that may be more unknown to you, but I feel like you're in control of that choice. I'm not saying there is to go one way or the other, but there is no right and wrongs in life. You've just got to trust your intuition, and sometimes we make mistakes, and that's another way of learning, and blah, blah, blah. And then we have the Hermit as well, which again comes back to me with this card. I feel there's being the Hermit and just having the writing down like this, like it's that time alone where you have to decide who you are, what you're willing to put up with, what you're willing to allow in, how much energy you want to give out to other people. Because if you're getting burnt out and drained, that's because you are choosing. I don't like to say that to everyone, because I know there are circumstances that we can't control, again, that we have to let go of. But there's a certain degree of standing up for what we need and making our own needs known, and meeting our own needs ourselves as well. So I feel like there's a lot of reflection on that self and figuring that out for ourselves. What will I allow in my life? And by doing that, there's going to be so much more success brought into your life, your self-esteem, your power, your passion, your goals, your future. I feel like when we, there was something I listened to the other day, and it was really powerful actually. I wish I had kept it. I don't think I kept it, but it was a video about, and a woman was talking about how we're all getting to know ourselves and remember who we are as we get older. And I feel like I'm still doing that now, like putting up those boundaries and learning how, always learning, still making mistakes of course, but learning how to try and be assertive and speak my truth without being aggressive or even being sarcastic, or like being able to do it in a gentle, assertive way is something that I am still working on. But I feel by doing these things, we're going to get that confidence that we need and our self-worth, because we'll no longer let people bulldoze us, you know, and take advantage of us when we don't have any energy left, or we do have energy left but we need it for ourselves or for someone else or that sort of thing. So I'm going to pick 2 more cards for this reading. So far I get a lot. I'll just do a little wrap up of the reading as well. Again, I feel this is to do with the relationship you're involved in, or even if it's generally relationships for you in general and how you might go about navigating them. I do feel that there is some boundary setting and some letting go a little bit of the restriction of the relationship or the codependency, because I feel it's really important to have your own self nurtured, so that side by side with this person you can still create beautiful things in the world without smothering each other or whatever it is that's going on individually for you. It's all about deciding and playing those chess pieces the way that you want them to be, and figuring out what you want in your life, which path to take, which phone call to answer. At the same time, realizing we don't have full control every moment in terms of some things happen to us that were out of our I'll say control again, but out of our choice, wasn't our choice in this human life anyway, and that we just like the acceptance of that. Okay, well, this is happening for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. It's not comfortable. It's not what I want, but I just have to let go and get through it. Again, death card twice, lots of new beginnings, and I feel that by writing that pros and cons list and really processing about the way your emotions have been in the past and the way that people might have hurt you in the past, that's coming through, that you're needing to reprocess some of those past emotions, and deciding who you want to be is going to be really good for your soul and your growth and moving forward and your confidence, because you don't have to be nice all the time, and it's not even about not being pleasant or friendly or loving. But if you don't want to do something and it is causing you resentment and lack of self-care for yourself, then I don't see how that's positive to continue that way. But again, we all make our own choices where we want to be. Let's pick 2 cards. Did I just say I'd pick 2? Was that it? I'll pick one more. So I've got 2 different cards coming through. There's the 2 different dynamics too. There's that part of you that is growing, accepting, loving. I'll show you the image on that one. If you are a tarot reader, it's a King of Pentacles. But when I look at this card, it's, a new beginning that you're really happy with. It's like a happiness in yourself and who you are and who you've become. So this is what I see for your future coming through after all this. So it might not be comfortable in the present right now and the near future, like right now future, but I do see this is a way for you to learn how to stand up for yourself and what you want in your life, these experiences that you're going through now. And it's not over. The emotional growth is never over. It's continuous. So keeping in mind that that's okay as well. Like, I feel like when I was younger as well, I had very high expectations and ideals of what happiness was and what life was meant to be like. I didn't fathom the fact that there's always shit happening. There's always some trauma around me, or pain or poverty. It doesn't go away. We're living in the world of duality, so it's always going to be there. It's about learning to process and growing through it. And this card to me is just a reminder that you're going to be okay. You've done so much already, emotionally processing, and there is so much love and beauty to be had as well. It's not all sadness, but I think when we can accept that there is going to be some sadness in our life, or some challenge in our life, then when it does happen, it's not as shocking, I guess. Where for a long time in my life I thought, oh, when's it going to end? When's it going to end? When's it going to end? When's this, when this life pains thing going to end? Like it just be all perfect and all balanced, and thought that was the point. I just have to strive for complete happiness in every area of my life. But I myself feel aware that doesn't generally happen. There's always something, because we wouldn't be here if we weren't needing to be challenged or wanting to be challenged in some way. Whew. On a human level here. So I hope you enjoyed that reading. I hope it resonated. If it didn't, feel free to choose one of the other stones, amethyst or the labradorite. Thanks for tuning in. Sorry it took me a while to get back here, but hopefully I'll stay motivated and stop procrastinating on doing my hair or makeup or anything like that beforehand. Just get it done, huh? Thanks very much for having me. Hello and welcome to card reading number 2. If you chose this jagged little amethyst here, which has like some sort of dirt stains on it, it seems. Not sure what that's all about. Then you have chosen this card here, which is the King of Cups, but again I read intuitively, not necessarily by the tarot meanings. So when I look at this card, I will start by saying that I feel this person is sitting in their emotions quite well and processing everything in life quite positively. When someone's sitting in their water, like the feeling of that person sitting in the water in their clothes, like, and at such peace as well at the same time, not saying, oh no, my pants are wet. It's like, yes, things are happening, yes, things are emotional, yes, those emotions are there, but accepting those and being aware of them and creating that own internal peace. So let's see where this reading is going. Ooh, there's one jumping out at me. Oh, another really positive Knight of Wands card, which to me, this is all about achieving goals too, and doing the things that set your heart on fire. The drum there really represents the heartbeat to me, and being on fire, the passion being met and fulfilled and enjoying life. Those 3 wands in the background showing like they're ignited, I'm happy. Even the colors coming down towards the lady, you know, like spirits coming through to help intuitively connect with that passion and that energy. So far we're looking quite positive. Let's see. Doing readings a bit different today, actually. Usually I ask a few questions along the way, but number 1's reading didn't come out that way, so I'm just going to see what happens with number 2's. Again, I just do what comes out of my mouth. I just do. I just say. I try to speak the words. Here we go. Yeah, again, this card to me, it's the Moon card, but even the way that this woman is in the water and in between the black and the white wolf, I feel like it's a deep let go, like it's a real celebrating of life in the most peaceful, accepting way. Yeah, I do feel this is a really, like, where you're at right now through the cards is showing that you're in a really positive place in your life, I feel, and that there's so much acceptance of what life has to offer in both the positive and the negative, or the good feelings and the bad feelings. I've got one popping out. Oh, there's 2 popping out. Oh, this card came up before as well, but let's see how we read it with this. So with the 2 cards coming next to each other on the same turnover, I've got that relationship coming through there too, which looks really healthy and beautiful to me in this reading. I'm just getting so much positivity out of this reading. So maybe the next card I'll ask, what is challenging you? Because so far you're dealing with life really well. I feel like doesn't mean that life is perfect, because there's still challenges, but I feel like you're coping and handling those challenges with grace and acceptance and love for yourself, and continuing to look after yourself. I had a whole lot fall out there. Are these your blocks? Okay, well, heaps of them came out. Okay. So the first card we've got is Strength. So if I'm reading this, I'm going to read these as your blocks as well. So I've got Strength next to the Hermit. Again, not that I'm reading just through the tarot, I'm reading through the images as well. Justice and the World. I do feel like you are strong, and I feel like if there's anything in the way blocking, it might be that showing of vulnerability, because I feel like that you're handling life so well, emotionally and externally. The way you're presenting is very positive, and you know, people are most likely look up to you and are inspired by you. But I feel like there's that little bit of reminder for the vulnerability. You've come a long way in your life, I feel, to get to where you're at. So it's almost like there's a little bit of that need to not fall off the top. How do I say that? Fall off the mountain. Like, I feel like you've climbed and climbed to get to where you are, and you're at the top looking at this view, which is absolutely gorgeous and beautiful. But because it's taken so much hard work to get up there, there's this fear internally of falling back down. And I don't feel that you're going to fall back down, but I feel like maybe you're shutting off a little bit to some of the more say negative feeling emotions, like trying to block them out altogether because you don't want to spiral back to where you were at the beginning. But I feel like this reading is just a little reminder that you have come so far, that you aren't going to spiral back to where you were. It's okay to show that bit of vulnerability. It's okay to still have a cry occasionally and feel sad about something. It's a part of the human emotion to feel sad. If someone passes, even though we know they're in a beautiful place, where they're in a place where they're now free, I know this, I hope that you know this too, and that they are perfectly fine and happy themselves, it's okay to cry. It's okay to miss them. It's okay to be challenged by that loss and that feeling. And I feel that what this reading is just that slight reminder of that, because I feel like you're doing actually really well and things are very positive. So I feel like there's just that slight reminder of it's okay to be vulnerable and to have a cry and to be a bit angry sometimes, you know, not to punish yourself, not to beat yourself up if those emotions come up. It doesn't mean you're spiraling backwards. It's okay. That's how I feel. And also the Hermit card coming through too. Just that processing of that, and spending that time alone to have the time to process it. Often when our lives are super, super busy, like if we are achieving our goals and living our passions, and, you know, we're socializing and we're busy at work and we're doing this and we're doing that and blah, 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 blah. Just to make sure that there is that alone time for you to process at the end of the day. Reflect. Yeah. Reflect, and it's okay to reflect on things that made you feel uncomfortable as well. And if there wasn't anything, that's awesome too. I feel the next two cards that came in with those being Justice in the World. I just, again, the message to me with these is just that how hard you've worked for that justice in yourself to get to where you are, to get to a place in your life that you are achieving your goals and that you are happy. So I just feel like it's just together, those four cards together, reminding you that you've already accomplished the world. You know, you've accomplished your growth to where you are. You're not going backwards. You are already there. You've processed so much of your life already, and obviously there's always going to be more to process. That's how life works. But in my opinion, I say that in big letters across the bottom. In my opinion. But yeah, I just feel like there's that reminder to be soft with yourself, that it's okay to feel uncomfortable feelings as well. Doesn't mean you're any more enlightened than you were or that you have become. It just means that you're human, and that's okay. Two of them. Again, to do with the emotions. The Queen of Cups and the Seven of Cups. Now, when I look at this card, being tea leaf reading as well, I'll show you the image first. I immediately feel actually that this is guidance for you, this card. So as I say, I do read intuitively, so the messages come through differently when I do different reads. So actually feeling that there's someone in your life that is guiding you, and I'm not sure if that's someone in spirit or if that's someone, it could be someone like a grandmotherly, motherly figure, a female figure. But I also see in the tea leaves, I feel like there's a little angel in there. So I feel like you are being guided by spirit. I mean, we all are being guided by spirit, of course. I'm not sure if you needed to hear that, if you'd forgotten, but I actually feel like this is a really positive reading for you. So you mightn't have felt like you needed a reading, maybe. Seven of Cups, just like, I feel like you have so much control at the moment over your emotions. Like, I feel like you've worked through so much. It's almost like you've categorized different times in your life when I look at this one, and now you have the control over what you want to revisit and don't want to revisit. With the tickets there, I feel like you've put the things away in the closet, and not in a bad way, not in a bad way at all, but you've processed through them. They're still there, they were part of your life, but you've learned how to choose when you want to revisit that certain event or that certain emotion. You've got more control over when you want to revisit those times in your life, and if you don't want to revisit those emotions. So I do feel like that's the only thing I can say as the little message coming through, is that it's okay to be vulnerable and it's okay to still feel challenged, because I feel like you have just come so far emotionally in your life that perhaps sometimes there might be that avoidance to feeling too deeply in a negative or an uncomfortable way, because you've come so far, you don't want to ever go back to where that was. And I feel like it's just to let you know that you're not going back to where you've come so far. You're never going back to where you were. It's okay to still feel challenged and feel sad. That doesn't mean you're not capable, or that you won't succeed and things won't continue to be positive for you. What other message do we want for you? Again, friendship. So that might be something that you need a little bit more of, like that really close friendship. I've got this always reminds me of sisters to me, this card, as well, because my sister has this tattoo. So when I look at this card, it's about having that vulnerable connection. So I'm feeling, in a way, this is obviously, again, it's not going to be for all of you, but there is a message for someone out there. So if it resonates in case it resonates with you, I'm going to put it out there that sometimes your strength and the way you present, because you're so confident, which is awesome, by the way, which is wonderful. People look up to you. But sometimes it stops people from being able to be fully vulnerable with you, because they don't see that pain or that hurt. They don't see that you're experiencing it, or that you've experienced it. So they might make the assumption that you haven't felt it, and that you won't relate or empathize or have compassion for what they're going through. So they might be less likely to open up and share that. So I do feel there is that little message about being vulnerable. And so with the sisters and the friendship card coming through emotionally, for me, it's just that reminder for that deep connection with someone, we kind of do have to show them. I feel anyway. I'm quite a vulnerable person, maybe too much. I don't know. Who's to say what is too much? And some people, they'll make that judgment. You know, they might make that judgment, go, oh, she's blah blah blah, too much for me. Didn't want to know that. Too much information. Or they'll go, oh wow, she shared with me, I can share with her now, you know. So I feel that being vulnerable and showing that side of you to people to deepen those friendships and connections would be beneficial. What else would you like to know? Actually, I should change decks. Excuse me. One more. One. Again, there's that message that you've walked away from. You have had the challenges and the traumas and the things that you've worked to get away from and process. And I think that people don't always see you like that. That's you walking away from where you were to where you're going into the light there. But I feel like this is my terrible stick-on nails. And one's coming off. I feel like this card is just saying, because you present so together and confident, people aren't seeing that side of you that they can always feel that they can connect to. I'm not saying that people aren't connecting to you at all. I'm not saying that. But I just feel like because you're always... Again, won't be for all of you, but some of you are high vibing all the time, like positive. Don't speak that word. That will bring negativity into my life. That sort of way of thinking, which is fine. Everyone has their own way of thinking. I'm just saying that might cause you to be up here less vulnerable for other people to be able to open up to you. And again, you want to be your authentic self, so I'm not telling you to not be. I just see it coming through as a little message there that if that is happening in your life, if you feel like people aren't connecting with you on a deeper level, that might be a question to ask yourself if you're presenting that way. And I mean, go girl, go boy, go you. Go you for being confident and being where you are. We've all been through our stuff. We don't have to prove to people either. So coming up, I don't believe this is about your future. I think that's just representing your past, actually. So we have the Tower card and we have the Five of Cups, which is putting those broken pieces back together. So I really feel that's where you've come from. And I feel it's important to share that. Well, actually, I didn't handle things very well when I was younger. Things didn't go the way I'd planned. It wasn't always positive. I've worked really hard on myself to be where I am now, in an empathetic way, in a compassionate way, to show others that, you know, to inspire others, knowing that they can also heal and feel better in themselves. But sometimes people might think that you've just always had life so easy and so perfect that you've never experienced this stuff because you appear so together and you really have grown so much. I think that message just keeps coming back over and over. So I'm going to pull you a destiny card and let's see what word comes up with it. Just because I feel I'm pulling more cards that are giving me the same message to tell you that, like, you're doing a great job, everything is wonderful, you're dealing with life really well. There's just that little reminder about being vulnerable to create connection and deep connection. What have we got? Detail, okay. Let's pick three. Let's pick three and put them together. Grace. Oops. grace. Tenderness. Detail, grace and tenderness. Grace and tenderness go well together, don't they? So yeah, okay, I'm going to take those words along with this reading, that it's the small details, that grace and tenderness. I feel if you've gotten this far with the reading and you're angry or you're upset or you're questioning what part of me is it I'm not being vulnerable, it's the little details. Just the little things we say sometimes can make, like when we, it's not our job to give other people self-esteem, but we can also be more wary of the way that we're speaking in front of somebody who may have lower self-esteem or might be really unhappy, in a really unhappy place in their life. If we come in going, oh, everything's fantastic in my life, everything's so wonderful, I've created this, that can be really insensitive to that person you might know is not going through that easy of a time. So those little tiny ways that we might present in front of someone like that, we can, I'm not saying being negative about your life, but I'm just saying be aware of the little tiny details in the way that you might be presenting that life is perfect for you, because you know it's not. You know you've worked hard to get to where you are, and I think it's important that other people know that too, because life isn't always easy, and we do have to go into ourselves, still do, to process, figure out, and learn how to be a more positive part of the existence for our own selves and for everybody. Thank you so much for listening. I hope that resonated with you. Take care, and if it didn't resonate with you, maybe try number 1 or number 3. Thank you very much. Hello and welcome to card reading number 3. If you chose this beautiful semicircled labradorite, you couldn't really see it in the photo as well as you can see it in the video, in the sun there. Very reflective. Then you have chosen your card, Queen of Pentacles. This is one of my favorite cards in the deck, visually to look at. It's such a peaceful, beautiful, serene imagery, and on her face with the little sticks there as horns, it just represents like this gentle power to me, like a surrendering, but an ownership, a powerful surrendering. Let's see what cards come up with that one for you and what message we might be giving to you today. Again, I do read intuitively, not necessarily by what the tarot meanings are. When I read cards, they can have different meanings every time I read them. Sometimes they're the same, depending on what stands out to me intuitively at the time. So I've gotten a few cards out for you. Now this is the 3rd time this card's shown up actually. And I'm going to put it with a few others. Okay, now I don't generally read cards upside down. They did come out upside down, but I generally don't. It's just the way that I was holding them, because I know they're all in the right order. Don't do the backwards reading, that's just how I read. Sometimes I do if I feel it's needed. But when I look at these cards all together, I do feel like you have been going through a hard time. Even though we've got that Queen of Pentacles now, where you're at a place of surrender, I feel like you might have gone through a bit to get there, or you might still be going through this to get there. So first of all, we've got the Page of Swords. Now to me, this image with her balancing on a sword like that, showing that there is danger, there is a fall, there is a drop, but you were able to get through it. And maybe you didn't know the whole time that what you were doing, you were just keeping focused on not looking down. You do have guides there with you, whether they be in person or in spirit. But I feel like you've gone through this part, and you have gone through this time in your life where you're having to make a lot of decisions. You've had a lot of different ideas on which way to go, which way to move forward. You're having to do a lot of research on how to move forward. And at the same time as doing all that and managing to keep safe, and keep strong and keep balanced, you know, you've had that emotional danger coming through. There's something there that has not been pleasant for you, but you've managed to get through it, and you're managing to get through it quite confidently. So you might even be surprising yourself, because I feel there has been that challenge there. But you're okay. You're getting to the end of that. That challenge may be showing up again with another person, in terms of a relationship. Not necessarily romantic, can be romantic, maybe friendship, acquaintance, work, family, child, parent. I feel that together there can be harmony between you. There can be a type of harmony between you. It might just be a different type of relationship than the one you had before, because I do feel like there's some pain coming through in the reading. So it, you know, you might have had to rethink and reset and redesign your life so that you're able to make this relationship one of harmony and love and acceptance. And I'm not sure if you're there yet. You may be there. This may be coming through at the past for you, or this might be something you're going through presently. But whether this is where you're at now, it is, or where you're going, I do feel that that this is coming through strongly, that you will be okay, and there will be that place of surrender and peace. I'm going to have to say, with my intuition, I'm reading this as, it's who you are. It's who you are, and it's maybe not where you've felt you are, but it is who you are and where you're going to be again, in that place of peace and power and surrender. Most recently, though, I do feel that has been some manipulation in your life. It's the Devil card, but when I look at the Devil card here with the puppets, like someone's been pulling your strings. Someone's been tempting you in a not so positive way to give them what they need. They're very much about themselves, this person, and they're very much have been manipulating you to meet their own needs, to have their own needs met. You already know this about them. I feel that this is something they've really been working through, actually, is to process, find new ways of dealing with this situation. And it's been really hard. I do feel that it's been really difficult for you. The crows like this and the weeping just represents to me the amount of noise that's been around you, and like, you really have had to think and write and feel and research and think of all the ideas that you can think of to get to where you're going because of this situation, I believe. But in saying that, if you look in the right corner, there's always guidance there. So don't forget, and I don't think you have forgotten, but there's always people there. There's always spirit there. There's always love there that is guiding you, always. Even when you're at your lowest of lows, there is an angel there beside you. I do believe that strongly. There is your higher self there encouraging you as well to get through this. And I do feel quite positively that you are getting through it. You will get through it. Doesn't mean there's not the uncomfortable feelings that are going to come along with that. But you are the queen. You are the queen. Do not forget this. So into relation to, let's see, what's going to help you at the moment? Let's see, what's going to help you become more in that feeling of surrender that you have already started, and power. It's funny, some of the message in this reading, there's some similar feels to the heart, the rose quartz heart, the message of choosing what energy you want in your life. Interesting. Choose one more for there. Okay, so what would benefit you is to really make that choice. Do I answer? Do I hang up? Again, writing the pros and cons down and researching what's best for me. What is best for me? Do I want to answer this phone call? Do I want this person in my life in the same way that they've been in it previously? Because I do feel like there is some manipulation that's been coming through from them. Obviously, it's not just about a relationship here. There's other things going on. There's other restructuring you've had to do in your life as well, whether that's been a career change or a house move. Some other ways in your life you've had to restructure too. That could have been because of this relationship, or these might be two things simultaneously happening. The moves and the organizing, plus this person that has been pulling the strings a bit and causing some trauma or some anxieties or some sadness. But I feel like the card that comes through next is really about taking that into your own hands and deciding when you want to talk to them, if you want to talk to them, and if you have to talk to them, writing down beforehand, this is what I'm going to talk about, let's keep it to that. Sometimes if we are going to have a conversation with someone that we already know, we're inclined to get emotionally responsive to. I'm giving advice that I don't take, by the way. This is just intuitively coming through, so I've got to learn to take it as well. But sometimes, yeah, we need to be prepared sometimes for those sorts of conversations, so that our emotions don't get the better of us and we become reactive, and then it doesn't end the way we wanted it to, and then it doesn't serve us. So even if it means writing down before that phone call's made, or before you next talk to that person, that this is what I want to talk about. I'm not going to be engaging in things that are not comfortable for me or are not appropriate in the life that I'm living or the relationship I'm having with this person. You get to choose some of those things, which is great. And I feel like you are, in terms of money and wealth in other ways as well, not just necessarily monetarily, you're really putting a lot into this. You are taking responsibility to create your own wealth. This card here, so he's actually printing. To me, that feels like he's printing the money, which is, he's creating it from scratch. He's doing this all himself. He's done the stencil, he's done the printing, he's gotten the paper. Like, to me, this is symbolizing in your life how you are creating the wealth in your life, and you're actually, whether that's come in for you yet or not, and whether that is in fact monetarily wealth. It could just be, could also mean wealth in terms of riches of life and love, and the way that you're creating your life to be the way you want it to be. I feel that there really is that turning point in your life at the moment where you're doing that. Also benefiting you are some more pentacles in there. We have the Six of Pentacles, but when I look at this card, it's all about giving back to the people that have helped you, and when things do turn around, to remember that, because there might be a time that you've gone through, or that you're going through at the moment, where finances have been hard for you and you've had people step up, family, friends, partners, organization, somebody stepping up to help you through it. And just to remember, when the roles might reverse in the future sometimes, that person was genuinely loyal to you and helpful to you, and to be there for them in that same way, because roles can reverse very quickly, and even if it's not monetarily, so you may not be a person that is feeling you have extended amount of money to offer or share, and that might not be what those people need either. But just, I mean, pasta's pretty cheap there. There's pasta on the plate. Like cooking a meal, doing an act of service for that person, if you feel that maybe there's something I need to do to show my gratitude. Or perhaps you already do. Perhaps you already do that, which is also awesome. Where to next? Where are you going? Are you moving? Oh, you're still sorting it out and you're still playing all the pieces. You're still setting it up. I really feel like you're in that process of organizing for the future at the moment. Yeah, so we've got the Emperor, which the card to me itself is all about being in control of the chess pieces when I look at this one. Like, there's also the spirit coming through and higher self coming through to help influence those decisions. But I feel like you might be in a time in your life, a period in your life where you're having to redesign, make some different choices. It might not be a complete tower moment. It could be for some of you, but there is that change and that ownership of being in control. Probably get so much of my head in this. I should wear something on this, a smiley face or something. Distraction. I just feel like, yeah, being in control and making those choices yourself is coming through, which is going to lead to some new growth and new wealth. Again, that coming through, like you have created this yourself. You're working on this yourself. You're building this up and it is going to flourish and it is going to grow. And you're going to be sitting at the top of that mountain. The king that you are accomplished everything that you have and everything that you've gone through. Being this King of Swords too. You know, I feel like dealing with this person here that was manipulating you, dealing with some of these emotions and the noise that's been around and the heaviness of what's been happening more recently. I feel like you are getting through that. You will get through that. You have been already balancing and keeping the balance and looking to the future and deciding what you want in life. A little bit more of that to decide on the communication part with someone in your life there and how you're going to communicate or not communicate with them. But you have created this wealth for yourself, and I think you should be very proud because that is going to grow. You are making the choices. And don't forget to give back to those that are really loyal and being there for you when you've needed it. But the King of Swords coming up the end, towards the end here is such a positive card to me to show how much you have accomplished and you will accomplish. So you stay positive even through the hard, challenging times. It is not over. You are redesigning, you are reprocessing, you are creating a life that suits you, for you, that is going to make you the best version of you can be and the happiest version of you that you can be. And I feel that these things need, these things change in life, and sometimes it's people that come into our life that affect us in that way to make us realize what we do want and how we want to be treated and how we want our life to be. Yeah, and for some of you, the choice is to make a brand new beginning. That might not be for all of you, but that's the Death card I've just picked up there. The Strength card as well. You are strong. You're going to get through this. It might feel overwhelming, but it's turning you into that King of Swords. It's turning you into that person that knows how powerful you are and how much you can achieve, because you're going to be looking back and going, wow, I got through all of that noise, all of those feelings I went through. I got through that to not only become the queen there, surrendering, but also to become the king who's made it to the top of the hill through all the struggles. And the card's coming through next, Death. So Death is all about new beginnings as well. So for some of you, this is a whole new choice. You might not all, you need to look at what is serving you individually, but I do feel that for some of you, it's new beginnings, slate clean, start again. And that you do require a lot of strength to be able to do that. It's easier to stay put, even if it's staying put in a place that we're not happy. Creating change, can be overwhelming and scary, and you have to be strong. But you are strong, and you do have loved ones around you. There's the infinity symbol there, and the lion, strong lion, and you are creating that quilt. That is your strength coming from within you. And Four of Pentacles, going into a safe there and putting the money into the safe there is all about creating a new future as well, and creating wealth for yourself and real achievement and celebration of where you've come, because I do feel like that there has been some challenging times here for sure, but I just see you getting through it and being so strong and being so independent. And it's okay to cry, it's okay to feel overwhelmed. That's all right, it's a human emotion, but you're getting through this and you're going to be okay, and things are going to be a lot more enjoyable in your life than what they have been. I do see that. Again, there's going to be more money coming in as well, so I just picked the King of Pentacles to go with. Went straight after the Four of Pentacles, but to me it's like counting up your own money too, which you will be making. So it is that new beginning as well with the Ace there too. New independent financial beginning as well, it seems like there, if you're not in that, haven't been in that more recently. Thank you very much for tuning in. I did forget, I didn't do these cards for number one. Sorry guys if you're listening from card reading number one. But I will choose you just a word for the day. One word for the day, or the week, or the month, until you hear from me again. I'm going to give you another word. Well, you go and find your own word. Harmony, harmony, you are creating harmony. Oh, look, these ones fell over too. Yeah, honesty and authenticity, 100%. You need that to create this harmony. You've got to be true to yourself. That's what that's about. Like, am I happy here? Is this way of relating to this person me living my honest truth? And you know, am I finding that harmony there, or do I need to recreate it myself and start afresh? Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that you found that resonated with you. If it didn't, listen to one or two. Feel free to give me feedback. Always helps me knowing if I'm on track with the people that are tuning in. Hopefully see you again soon. I'm offering online readings via Zoom as well. They are by donation, which essentially means if you cannot afford one, I'm still happy to give you one. It also means I'm happy to give you one, and if you did not like it, you don't have to pay. But it also means I'm happy to give you one. And if you appreciated it and you have some money in your pocket and you feel like it was worth some money to you, you are welcome to donate whatever you feel is fitting. Thank you very much. Just contact me via my Facebook page, Holistic Sista, to organise that. Have a good day. Yeah.